Gear. And I just want to say, welcome to our second back to having the most amazing sales team meetings of the month. This is number two. It's our May team meeting, and I'm so glad to be able to share it with you. And with that, I'm going to share my screen and get it going. And let's see if we can make this big and hope that we won't have technical difficulties, but Lord knows, you guys, we're just going to have to roll with it. Let's see here. Okay, no. I didn't want to start it without everybody. Okay. Can everybody see? Oh, what is happening there? Continue to share.
Yes.
How do I get that? Let's say continue to share. Oh my God, where is that? Oh my God. End show. Hold on. How do I see that?
Like maybe go back to now, making it bigger, and you should be able to. Yeah, that one.
And now I just go ahead and play. Let's see. Well, let's see. Play from start. Oh, it worked. Oh God. Alejandro, little tech genius. Okay.
Thank you for considering Sotheby's International Realty. Many choose to partner with us because of our reputation of integrity, our exceptional curation of their properties, and the way we outperform the market in exposure and sales. It starts with our award-winning website that attracts over 30 million global visitors each year and is available in 16 languages. This visually immersive experience was designed to give your home the remarkable first impression that it deserves. And that's only the beginning of the exposure we provide your property. We advertise your home with premier global media brands to introduce your home to their affluent audiences. But we don't just wait for someone to search for your home. We proactively introduce it to financially qualified buyers in your target market alongside editorial content. In addition, we allow buyers to take a tour through your home at their leisure on Apple TV. Your home also has the chance to be featured on the most visited luxury real estate channel on YouTube, and with the potential to reach over 1.2 million of our social media followers. Our award-winning PR team fosters strong relationships with leading media outlets and is accessible to your sales associate to help generate even exposure for your home. And we utilize the proprietary Sotheby's Auction House database to reach the most difficult to access buyers. When you choose Sotheby's International Realty, you know that your property will be seen at its finest by the most qualified buyers around the world. Your home deserves nothing less.
How do you guys like that one, right? That is beautiful. Have you guys seen that? That's our new property tour video. Has everyone seen that already?
No, I haven't. Where do we find it?
Well, hang tight because you're going to see it and you're going to learn a lot more about that. I'm going to make sure that I am recording. Did anyone see that I was recording? I think I did hit record. Okay.
It says it is.
So,
Yes.
Yeah, you're recording.
okay, that's great. Thank you. So here we go. Also, remember, this little slide should be included in all of your listing presentations. Where do we find it? For 20. Anybody? Oh, for the love of God. Design Vault, Lauren Raymond. Woo! This is found in Design Vault. We need to know our current stats. Guys, you should be able to wake up in the middle of the night. I'm going to call you. Just kidding. I'm sleeping. But we are in 84 different countries and territories, right? You need to know that. We did 157 billion last year, which, by the way, I found out that our notables and quotables are out, thanks to Claire. So they should be coming in our office anytime soon. Yes, our beautiful glossy copies, and we will be changing them in your marketing book. So that's important to know. But okay, we have 26,100 of the top producing global advisors. When you look at Real Trends, that is our national Real Trends reports, the top producers are all with Sotheby's. There's a reason for that. And it's not just because we're the coolest, because you know we are, but it's because the reason that we can sell so much is how we market our properties. So that's how you use this information. It's not just because we're the coolest kids on the block, you know, because we are, but it's how we sell. That's why we're the number one agents, right? That's why they cares. What's in it for the customer, right? So that's why you need to have included this information. Otherwise, what do the stats mean, right? Nothing. The other thing that you have to point out here, what's the one most important thing that I have not talked about on this slide? Anybody? Oh my
The
God.
referral.
Thank you. Oh my God, Alejandro, you get 30. You pulled it out yourself. I'm so proud of you. 4.6 billion in referral business. Why do they care about that? Because as a truly collaborative global brand, we want to work together. Guys, no other brand does that. So with that, when we use our list track report, and we see that Zurich Sotheby's, or we see that Canada SUR, or we see that, Pacific Sotheby's, or whoever it is on there, and we reach out to them and we send them more of our information and they send out our property, we're working together collaboratively and we send each other referrals all the time, back and forth. That is a brand like no other. That's how we help to work together to sell their homes to the most qualified people that are actually looking at their homes. Who does that? Can you tell me one other company that does that? I challenge anybody. I give you $100 bill. Because there is no other company. So sneaky of me. That's right. That is why you need to know that. That is really important stuff. Okay, so that is your new SUR property journey. So how does it elevate your business? Because it articulates the brand. We've been talking about that in our listing presentation that we're going to continue part 2 on Monday. That helps you explain how it's going to elevate their property, not just you, right? That's all the things. That's why you need to include it. So where do you find it? Thank you, Angela. You just led me right to it. That is located, first you have to go to SUR Access, right? Then you log into Design Vault. That's where that's located. And here it is. There are 8 different languages available. They were so cool. I was listening to it in German. I was listening to it in Spanish. A su casa. They have it in Portuguese, which we have a ton of Brazilians over here that would love that. So they have it in all 8 different languages available. It's beautiful. So you need to be utilizing this. This is fabulous. And it's ready to go. So be posting this. If you're a truly global brand and you're actually having these same things in another language, it's not, Google Translate. Okay. This is really, have you guys seen some of these Google Translates? Although they're getting better, some of them are still, not so fabulous. So Lynn, did you have a question? Or not, Mr. Lynn? So at any rate, the point is, these are the things you need to be using to showcase that we're truly global. Would you agree, Claire?
Absolutely.
All right. Anybody else questions on that? Anyone like it? Okay, great. You guys are like pulling teeth over here. Jesus. I did it. I'm so proud of myself. Yes. My first Moxie report. Pretty amazing. I know y'all been using it, but I finally broke in and used it. But why did I do it was the real important thing, because you guys know how to use it. You don't really need me to show you. Because the Villages has a unique situation. They're up against another MLS, their internal MLS. And so Moxie can be used for off-market properties. So I created a report of all off-market properties. I did throw one MLS one in there. So I want you to take a peek. I'm going to stop share. I'm going to actually go over here. Hold on. Stop share for a second. Then I'm going to share this one.
Can you clarify what you mean by it can be used for all off-market properties? I mean, any MLM, any CMA can have it.
Well, there's 2 ways we're going to use this. So thank you for bringing up my next point, Maria. You just led me right to it, didn't you? So I'm going to show you what I used it for, and then I'm going to show you how you can use it. So this is one way I used it. This is the report for the Villages. This is our listing. Now we said, do we need to do a price decrease? That's what I used this for. This could be used, yes, for CMA. This could be used for, do we need to do a decrease? This also could be used for something else that I'm holding off for a brief moment. So keep your question, Maria. So here you go. Isn't this a beautiful? It talks about the facts of the home, which we had right from the MLS. And then it shows these properties that are all from the website of the Villages. And I have the pictures. Where did I get the pictures from? I took screenshots from the MLS of the Villages. Yep, I just took their data. Now, I don't have all of the data, like I don't know the lot sizes because it's not on there. I don't know days on market. Dang it. And that's what I really want to know. But you know, beggars can't be choosers. But I did get a ton of information right off their flyers, which is great. So I can put it all here so I can compare it. But this is the stuff I really want to look at, right? How many bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, price per square foot. So now I can see, are we competitively priced comparatively? And if we're looking at this, oh, I have to let Angela in. If we're looking at this, what does it tells me? Tell me, guys. I mean, you can see up here we're the subject property, right? It's so tiny, right? Sorry. Well, I will tell you, our subject property is 428 price per square foot, which is by far the lowest. The next one is 490. Then it goes to 523, 543, 504, 435 is the next lowest, sorry, and 501. Do you think we're competitively priced? These are all homes that are of similar quality, right? So this leads to a great pricing conversation with the seller, which is your price is strong. Now let's talk about other ways we need to help find your buyer. Other things that maybe we need to offer, like try and buy. Maybe we need to talk about financing solutions. Maybe we need to talk about, because this is the situation, guys. This is the villages. What is happening in the villages? Gluttony of inventory. Why do we have a gluttony of inventory, guys? Anybody know? You all know.
Everyone's scared about the 401k.
Yes, they're scared about the 401k. They're scared about their consumer confidence is in the toilet bowl right now, right? They're very scared. And I guarantee what's happened is a lot of their advisors, hello, Mr. Chad. A lot of their advisors probably told them to take what money they had and put it in some kind of annuity to wear out the storm, right? How many people work with advisors that might have told them that? You know, they're all like, put it in an annuity, let it sit there for a little while and you can wear out the storm. I know these advisors. We talk to them like, I mean, we've all heard those guys, right? And so they can't use their money, right? It's sitting there frozen. How many people have had those conversations with 55 plus people who have been told that? You know, my mom's advisor told her that. I'm like, Mom, close your ears. Do not listen. Don't listen. They don't know what they're talking about. But the point is, this is advice that people were getting. We have to look past the obvious, which we love to always point to price. But price doesn't fix everything, although we'd love to say it does, right? It doesn't. So we have to find out what is truly happening. Is it access to funds? This is where we have to go to Mr. Tripp and say, Mr. Tripp, do we have programs where they actually don't need to touch their finances, but they can actually get loans based upon income that they have in different accounts? Do we have that, Mr. Tripp?
We do.
Oh my gosh, we have that. These are things that we need to talk about. These are things we need to advertise to, right? If we have programs that says, leave your money where it is, let it wear out the storm, but you can take out loans based upon the net worth you have. It's called an asset-based loan, as if I knew what it was called, but now I do. Thank you, Mr. Tripp. It's an asset-based loan. Does that deal with a problem and offer a solution? Right? These are things. And another thing I've been saying a lot, guys, is what else is another solution that we don't offer, but is potentially being offered by Mr. Governor DeSantis? Thank you, Maria. Property taxes. What other state does not offer property taxes on their homes? Does anybody know a state in the union that offers no property taxes? There's none. None. Imagine if Florida is the first where you can own a home. What is that?
You're like the union.
The union, that's right. Well, it'd be like that.
Yeah.
It would be like that. It'd be like being back in the day when you could buy a property and it's yours and you never have to pay for it again. That's exactly how he described it. That's why I said that. But because I was there. But anyway, not everybody else. But it would be like that, right? Where you buy a property and you pay for it once, and then you don't actually have to keep paying for it again, like you're renting it. Because that's kind of what it's like when you pay property taxes, right? It's like you buy it, but oh no, you got to pay for it again and again and again, like you're renting it, right? That's kind of what property taxes are. So his concept is you pay for it once. Now, if you have a mortgage on or something, that's a different story, right? But you don't have to keep paying the government for it again and again and again because you bought it. Now, only on a homesteaded property. He is actually out there trying to get our constitution changed for next year. This is not something 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, a pipe dream. He would not be talking about it. He would not be going out in the press saying these things if he was not close. And then I have a lot of people, a lot of you guys asking me, well, how the heck are we going to pay for schools and fire and police, right? You guys thinking that right now? Let me ask you, 2022 is a perfect example. What happened to our property taxes? Where do they go? Through the roof, right? Did you see big changes in the schools? Right? Are like lined paths of gold? Did the fire chiefs and the fire people and the police, did they all get huge raises? No.
Teachers didn't bill.
Teachers sure didn't. We know that. But it doesn't go to building. That is impact fees. Impact fees going to build the new schools. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So where did that money go? Yeah. Well, the CDDs depend on how large the school, the development is. But here's the question.
So how would you pay those? Would that be?
That is still something you would do, a CDD, or
It
that's
would
done
still
by
be
development. Yeah. But the question is, where did the money go? Right? If all the property taxes went higher, but you didn't give it to the schools, you didn't give it to the police, you didn't give it to the, where did the money go? Does anybody know? We don't know. He doesn't know. Whose pockets? It lined somebody's pockets. So what they're doing is they're doing a huge investigation of all the counties in Florida to find out, where did that money go?
That's all it's being serious.
No.
It did go into some pocket.
It probably did go to someone's pockets. We need to find out whose. So that's what's happening. So don't feel for 1 second this is not a possibility. It's more than a possibility. But first they need to figure out where the money went. So that's what's really happening right now, just so y'all know. They're finding out where the money went, follow the money, because that money should be going to the people who live in those counties and those cities, right? Not wherever it actually went. And that's the key. Special interests, or it's probably where it went, right? So that's the point. And no, to your point, Emily, which a lot of people think it goes to build new schools, and it doesn't. Impact fees are what is used for building new
Or
schools.
those would just be charged yearly.
They're normally
It
done.
would be charged annually.
No.
So it's usually added on to the tax.
The developer pays the impact
They're
fees.
supposed to anyway.
Yeah, impact fees are charged based upon an area.
So your CDD would. still
No.
be charged.
So CDDs are different. Let me explain this really quickly. If an area is going to be built out, developers are going to build out. What the county figures out, or the city, depending on where it's located, they decide, okay, we need to build a school. We need to build certain waterways. We need to put in a fire, whatever they need to build in. What's the infrastructure needed in this area? How many builders are going to come in? What is the density? How many homes are they going to build? Let's divide that by the number of home sites. That's how we come up with what the impact fee per lot is going to be. The builders who build in there have to pay for all of those things that are going to need. Is it a school? Is it a new fireplace? Is it police? Is it a new water thing? Whatever has to be put into that community, the builders will pay for when they pay for the lots. When they put in for the county to get their building permits, they have to pay something called an impact fee. A COE, impact fees are $20,000 per lot. That goes towards the St. John's Waterway. That goes towards the building of schools. That goes towards all of those things. That's what pays for new schools. It has nothing to do with property taxes. Property taxes don't touch that. So in a CDD, in an area where it's a huge area, there's a lot of infrastructure and they're going to have lots of different builders, and there's usually a separate developer who's not the builder. They take out bonds from the government of the city, and they use that money to put the infrastructure in long before they have the builders. And then they have the builders pay it back, and they charge it to the people. That's what the CDD is. It's a community development district. And part of that is fixed, so usually a 30-year bond, and part of it is a maintenance fee that continues to keep up with the roadways and the waterways and all of those things. That is a different thing, and it's used in huge communities like Loria Park, Baldwin Park,
Villages.
Avalon. The villages, they don't call it that, they call it the bond. Right.
The maintenance fee is still.
It's the same thing. And that's why it goes into the taxes, because it's maintaining the community as a whole. But
So
it's
that would
different.
still be paid.
That would still be paid, but only in large communities. Small communities don't ever do it. No, it's not. It's a good question.
That's interesting.
It's very
The
interesting.
bonds in the villages,
Well, what
I
they're,
bought in 2023, my bond was 43,000. The new ones are in the 50s and 60s now.
well, that's
In
because,
addition to what you're paying.
but that's what they're doing and based upon the areas that they're developing. So, and they're developing new areas.
So from CBD, because back then the investor was doing the development on the area, paying for the pocket, now they're
Yeah,
passing it on.
now they're
So
passing it
now
on.
The old ways of, if you wanna build it, Mr. Developer.
You pay for it.
And there's no CBD.
Right.
It's all.
Exactly. So now we just kind of learned a whole new thing about development that those of us in development have been working with for many years. And those of you who haven't, now you've learned something new about development. But let's go back to how else we could use this awesome report. Something that we're talking about a little bit called private placement. Let's say you're working with a buyer. Could you not take all of our private placements, put them in here, and use this as an offering to your customers for private placement? Oh, let me ask. Yes, you could. Could you not also put all private placements in here and showcase it to a seller when you're offering a private placement or a quiet exclusive? Do you want to be part of our quiet exclusives program? This is what it looks like.
Oh, a CMA
Now,
plus for-
Now, maybe you don't show it in this manner as a CMA. There's different reports you could create as an offering. So you show it as an offering because this is a CMA version. There's different reports we could do. There's the buyer reports you could do, right? So you showcase the buyer report, doesn't showcase with the price per square foot and all that, but it does showcase all the options and the features, right? So we could do that. One picture, some information about it, like a buyer tour, but just with our off-property quiet exclusives. And this could be something that you could show online in just like this. So it's not that you're going to showcase to everybody, but when you're offering it to a seller as an option, now it makes it much more real and tangible, doesn't it? Do you want to be part of our quiet exclusive offering, Mr. Seller?
Say it like it too.
Quiet exclusive, because you got to be quiet when you say. What do you guys think of that? Now, I thought about it too late to create a whole new one. So I didn't have time, but this is something you could totally do. You could have your own portfolio of quiet exclusives. You could create, but we're going to go into this in a second.
Wow.
You could share them. Exactly. What do you guys think before I move on? Anybody online like the idea? Everybody online? Thank you. Okay, I got one. Yes, I love that. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're gonna hop back over here. I just wanted to share that. Yeah.
Do
Mhm.
you have to input all the addresses, or is there a way to specifically?
You have to because they're not in the MLS, but it's very quick and easy to do. That took me probably 20 minutes to create that.
And you manually inputted all the
Yeah.
other from the village.
Yeah, from the flyers. I manually did it from flyers. So, yep, it was very simple and easy to do. And yeah,
Well,
I thought,
would it populate if it were on the MLS? Would they populate or not?
yeah, if things were on the MLS, it would have populated. But because it wasn't on the MLS, I just said add off-market property. But how cool. So you could use this for so many things that I don't think we've even thought about yet. But I thought, wait a minute, I love quiet exclusives, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a second. This could be a great way if we're going to use this to help us get listings. We could even use it if we want to get some luxury buyers to see our quiet exclusive offerings. Now, can't say that when you're advertising. But when you're advertising, you could say to get on a list of all our luxury properties, DM me for more information for the best deals, or something about the newest information, or as things come on the market or something like that. You can hint to it without saying it, get people to sign up, and now you can send it one by one to your customers as long as you verify that they are not agents. Because we've had a couple people saying, oh, I want an investment, and then you find out, oh, I'm a realtor.
I do it all the time. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's bad news bears. We can't do that. But I don't think that's really going to happen in the luxury space very much. It would only happen in the low end.
Would you keep all of our, or all of our individual, probably would be too many often for one agent, one advisor to have more than one, but will we keep all of our client exclusives in one?
It
Like,
depends
I
on really what you want to offer. I think it's going to depend on really who your base of clientele is. Are they in an area? Are they by a price point? Are they by a lifestyle? That's how I would break it up. Am I doing this by a lifestyle? Like if I'm in Ocala and I'm an equestrian person, I'm going to do by lifestyle. If I'm over here and I'm a Windermere agent or just whatever, and I'm a lakefront expert, I'm going to do by lifestyle. Or if it's a price point, this is in this particular price point, or if I'm going to do new construction, how am I doing? Am I going to do it by lifestyle? Am I going to do it by price point? Am I going to do it by part of town? You can set this up any way you want. They're so quick and easy to make. You can make a bunch of them.
But if we, as an office, if we collaborated on a master one, then you can copy it and pull any of them out you want to send, is that point?
You could. The question is who's going to want to do it? Who's going to want to do the work? And could we collab and share the Moxie books?
With other people, other users, yes.
Okay, perfect.
And then you just copy
Here,
it.
I have
into,
a question.
The one you
Yeah.
want, read out the ones you don't.
Yeah, Angela.
So, and who do we direct Moxie questions to? Because maybe I was misinformed, but I thought that when I've used it before and you upload the listings from the MLS, but I thought that it updated like in real time. So if one of those listings goes pending or sold, it was going to show that way in the report, but it doesn't. It's not doing that. So I don't know if I
Are
was
you
misinformed or if
looking at
that's a glitch.
Are you looking at the web view or the print view?
No, the web view.
Let's meet
So
and you
on
can
a
show me,
couple
like,
Yeah, okay. A couple different times I went in and like a listing was pending and I was waiting for it to like update in the report weeks later and it's not. It's still showing just as is in there. So I was like,
I
wasn't
was
sure
told
if
it
I
does update in real time, so you'll have to show me.
Yeah, meet with
Okay.
Claire, and Claire will be your liaison between Moxie and
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so that's just some ideas of how we can use, actually, since we're on it, I'll come back to this. Hold on. I'm going to go over here. Hold on. We're going to back to the private placements for a second. The quiet exclusives, how we can use that with quiet exclusives. The one thing I wanted to share is now, those of you who weren't on my meeting on Friday and Monday, the quiet exclusives in our Propel are all company wide. Maybe not North Carolina, but they're definitely all Florida wide. So if you are creating those books and you wanted to add a Naples thing because you're doing beachfront, or you wanted to add something in Sarasota, you can. That's the beautiful thing. And they're going to try to make this even more user friendly for all of us. So for example, in Naples, people are having these things off market for like a year. So you're going to open up one of these and see pictures and see a lot more information than maybe we'd have, because a lot of us use this temporarily. Up here, we might use it for a month, a week, 2 weeks, where they're planning to keep this off market for a much longer period of time. So when you start clicking into these other properties from other locations, you may find a lot more marketing than we bother put in our private placements, which if you wanted to add it to your book, you could. So maybe if you wanted to say the ultra net worth, you want to do 5 million and above or something like that, that might be a cool book for you to create. So these are just thoughts on how we can be utilizing. Listen, we have a lot of inventory, which you're going to see, which is amazing and exciting because we're actually selling it. But as a company, we've got some amazing inventory, guys, and not just what's on the MLS. We've got some amazing inventory in private placement. And there's no violation if any one of you wants to create this book and share it with your customers or use it to get more private placements. Excuse me, quiet exclusives. So just wanted to throw that out to you because I really feel that this is an opportunity in a new way that we could be using Moxie, because it was super easy to do that. And if we have the information right here in our private placement, you're just copying and pasting it and throwing it in. And there's no violation.
Maybe our incredible marketing department could create a template page that can be added to that will cover us on verbiage of disclosure, don't share this, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty, we can have that loaded up into this each time.
What do you think, our incredible marketing person?
Sorry, someone just texted me saying, they booked me for a Zoom at this time, and I was like, I don't even know how you were.
It's impossible. Okay, Maria had a great idea. Say it again, Maria.
Maybe you could create a beautiful page that we could upload, static page into each.
Absolutely.
That would cover us on a disclosure of, please don't share this with anyone, any of the language we need in there to protect us, but make it look nice and we get uploaded into each.
Yeah, I'm sure the marketing team can do that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So we can create a private placement book.
Yeah, I like that
And then we
idea.
can use it each time, we know we're covered and safe, and then we can make it, put our stuff in there.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm seriously not here to harass you today, but.
Let me prepare myself. Okay.
No, I had a quick question. So would it be good practice maybe then to have them sign the buyer's representation before you send that?
I mean, listen,
Okay,
if you
agent.
can all day long, if you can have
But
a.
you don't have to.
Yeah, to send someone a listing, you don't have to. They say if you're doing any real business that could be construed as buyer brokerage.
I just wonder if that would protect us.
And of course it would protect you if you could do, if you could get someone to sign a buyer broker agreement before you send a listing all day long. If you do an online thing and say for more information from, and they don't want to sign it, good luck. I mean, it's.
It's in the auto emails through MLS, you don't need to buy it.
No, you
No.
don't. That's the point.
I just wondered.
But
if it-
before I sent a
private
private
place.
placement, I would have a really good conversation with them and make sure they're not an agent for sure. And I would look them up at DBPR. Always look up someone in DBPR before you send them a private placement something. Yeah, my Florida license
Oh, to see if they're. an
to see if
agent.
they're licensed.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Your email if you.
'Cause if they're not-
Email address.
Yeah, now we can't tell, obviously, if they're in North Carolina or something, but at least in the state of Florida that they're not licensed. Mhm.
Cause I get people in my database all that are trying to take my information
Yep.
and send out.
Yep. So that's something. Okay, moving on. I just wanted you guys to know that we have a really great SIR cheat sheet for optimizing your listing copy. And it's under SIR resources. You go to access and you look under marketing. So it's a search button and it's really cool because it gives you how to ensure your listing copy is highly visible in search engines. So you can take this information, you can put it into our Premier ChatGPT, but if you didn't have that, you could even use it, dare I say, on the regular ChatGPT, but which is inferior. But just in case you don't have ours, you could use it on either. But it's a really great way to help using chat to make your listing stand out. So that was a really cool thing I saw, and I thought that was a good one. The other thing I want you all to know, Sotheby's has created these new affinity groups, and one of them started yesterday. I don't know if anybody saw that. That one is called the Emerging Professionals Network. Did anybody do it? They're meeting monthly, and I think that definitely you guys should do the Emerging Professionals group. It looked really interesting. Again, they have the Hispanic one. This is through Sotheby's.
Yeah,
So-
I'm on,
Oh, you're on the committee. So did you guys start meeting already? Have you been meeting?
we did our first meet.
Okay.
But we are doing a couple other,
You want to share about that one?
yeah, I mean, it's really just, it's not for just like Hispanics or Latinos. It's really just creating the legacy within itself. Anyone that's really that is engaged with the Hispanic community or
Entonces, yo se puede hacer parte.
yeah, you can, but it's not like just specifically geared towards like Hispanics or Latinos within the luxury space. It's really just geared to anyone that's really embraces the culture. But it's really to help engage, bring resources within the Hispanic community and agents in the luxury realm within Sotheby's itself.
So if you're interested at all working with the Hispanic market, you should get involved in that one. Obviously, I should do it. Yeah.
We have different
Pride
committees, so.
Wait, talk, Emily.
I'm in the Pride Connect one, and it's not just, you don't have to identify as one of the people that they are representing. But yeah, you can be an ally or a supporter, but you have to sign a kind of like an oath sort of thing saying that you will not put up with any kind of discrimination. Yeah, and that you will actively support what they're doing. So-
That's cool. Anybody else
absolutely.
involved with any of them? So the Emerging Professionals was, oh, Lauren signed up for the women one. Awesome. Okay, great. I also, I belong to one that is actually part of the it's, what is it called? It was Realogy, now it's called Anywhere. Sue Yanniconi does something and I love it. So that's something I do. But, it's a woman one.
They're great because again, it's not just like your certain affiliate. There's,
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
companies-
these are company-wide too?
Yeah, they're like Sotheby's Global.
Oh, okay. Oh, Sotheby's
Oh,
though,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, these are great. So I think that everyone should check into these. These are all located on Sotheby's on Access. So just go to Sir Access and you can click to find more and then you just click to sign up.
What
Mhm.
does that stand for?
So this is Emerging Professionals Network, and it is to foster connections between associates across globe and provide educational opportunities for next generation of Sotheby's International Realty professionals.
So like younger agents?
It's kind of like a YPN, but you don't have to be younger. It's really, I think, more for education. It's not really about age. No, it's really about providing a more educational opportunities across the brand. So everybody's sharing what they're doing. It's more about a sharing platform to say this is what we're doing and then it's working. So it's more of a like a thought sharing platform is the way I understood it. That's what they said to us.
What's the other one? The Empowered, that's the women's.
Yeah, it's called Empowered, Women Empowered. Yep.
And Native Black.
And then the black one's been around a while because I know some people that have been in that since the last few G&Es. Yeah, I think so. Those two started it. So anyway, just wanted to let you know about those. And then this is exciting. If you didn't catch my excitement. So we have always now for the last, I think, a year or two, right, Claire? Been doing our open house weekend. This is the first time Sotheby's is joining the bandwagon. And it's May 17th and 18th, and I encourage everyone to get involved. I'm going to be hosting with Chad and with Keith, a very special one that I'm going to be connecting with other Sotheby's offices. But we're going to probably do a virtual one. I don't know if they want to also do something. But this is where the brand is actually going to be promoting a global open house weekend. So they call it Open House Showcase. And it's like paint the globe blue. Because remember when I did the first one, it's what did I call it? Painted blue. I think I called it Painted Blue Weekend or something. Anyway, but I stole that too. So this is basically they're going to have on Design Vault, Active Pipe, and also in the video studio, they're going to have all sorts of assets. So they're probably out there already because it was starting in May 17th and 18th. And basically we can leverage all sorts of awesome things. They're going to have the social, the email, the digital, and print available for us to use. But this is how they're getting involved. They are going to be boosting on social media from the 12th through the 18th. They're going to have displays on the Architectural Digest, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Financial Times. They're going to be doing it on cable TV. And they're going to be printing in the New York Times on the main news on Sunday, the 11th, and in the Wall Street Journal in the Mansion section on Friday, May 16th. This is awesome. Everybody is going to know that Sotheby's worldwide is hosting this. So if you want to get involved, if you have an open house, if you don't have an open house, borrow one from someone else. This is something you want to get involved in. So again, I'm getting involved. What day are we doing it? Saturday or Sunday? Did we decide? Okay, so we have to figure that out. I will be involved helping you and Keith and trying to see which other property we're going to do up in, because Stacy's selling hers. So yeah, but we'll have to figure out which property we'll do one up in Ocala too, because I want one in each of my offices. So that's all three of my offices represented. Yeah, and then we're going to try to connect with Michigan. We're going to be connecting with Maine. We're going to be connecting with California, and we're going to go virtually live between each of the offices during this global event. So it's going to be exciting. I'm very happy about it. But I highly recommend everybody getting involved. And maybe what we can do, anybody else who's doing an open house that day, we can do another one after our global where we all get involved in doing a local, all my offices, if you want to hop on a virtual open house. So we can visit each of you. I will set it up as a Zoom and we can pop like we did that one time where we pop over to everybody's house. Over to you, Emily, and wherever you are, over to you, so we can go over to your open houses. So we can try to coordinate that as well, since I will be doing that on that Saturday.
We're doing one in there, so.
Perfect. Oh, wait, I thought you were helping Keith.
Well, I'd already signed up for one in Windermere, so we're.
What day?
That was Keith.
What time?
I didn't know anything about Keith, so I had no dates for that.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to get someone else to help Keith. Okay, so
Are you talking about people?
yeah, it's the one he has though in,
Oh, outside.
yes. Well, I need a
Unless
couple
you can
people.
meet on Sunday, then I can help.
Well, it's gonna depend on what Sylvie says. So we don't know the day yet. It's a Saturday or Sunday. So whatever day Sylvie gives us the okay on is the day that we're gonna do it. And I'm gonna be out with Sylvie in her house in Ponce Inlet. Is she gonna be there?
Probably.
Yeah, well, I'll be there too. I'll be there with her. All right. So that's the exciting thing. I'm very excited about that. Okay. And now over to you, Claire.
Yay! Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us in person and over Zoom. I just wanted to touch base on the 2025 Central Florida marketing tiers. It's come up a few times about, here, I'm sitting in front. Hello, everyone. Come up a few times about just people forgetting that we have a $200 copay for every listing you're representing the sellers on. You can apply that to just listed or just sold postcards, your choice. If you send it out to a bigger amount of homes that exceeds that $200, you just would have to pay the difference.
And how long does that last for?
So if you're doing just sold, the property will still be in your account until 45 days after the close. So you have 45 days after you close to order those just sold. Also, you get 50 free brochures with every listing that you represent the sellers, and depending on the price of the listing, you either get 52-page brochures if it's under 2 million, or if it's above 2 million, you get 54-page. I like to remind people that if you want to upgrade,
Yeah.
to reach out to me, and I can put in a voucher in your account, or I should clarify, I can request a voucher be added to your account in my Marketing Matters of the equivalent of what it qualifies for, and you would just pay the difference. I know we have quite a few people who, when they get really nice fancy properties, they like to do an 8-page brochure, and I always encourage to go above and beyond. So please reach out to me regarding that. And if you guys have any other questions regarding the Central Florida marketing tiers, let me know. This can be found in Propel Smart Space under marketing resources. You can also just search Central Florida marketing tiers and it will come up. I just like to remind you guys all of the marketing initiatives that we have to support your listings. And then also super exciting to announce that My Marketing Matters is coming out with a trackable QR code. So when somebody scans that QR code, you will be able to see who and at what property. This is amazing. This is being added to not only Home Life, but you can choose to add it to your regular just sold, just listed farming postcards. It is just a slight upcharge to add a trackable QR code. I think it's like, it's not much at all.
I think
It was like 10
$10.
cents.
Oh, is it something? Yeah.
Yeah, 10 cents per QR code for that. So again, highly recommend that, because then you can pay attention to who's scanning, who's interested. Yes, Emily.
So it's just if they scan it, they don't have to sign up for something.
It's just if they
Scanning it,
scan it.
getting
Yeah, how
information,
cool is
and
that?
Yep, it's just if they scan it.
It is creepy. I love it.
Different than.
Yeah.
I love it.
then I love it if someone else.
Yeah, yeah.
When if you select the trackable QR codes, because you know you can create that QR code in My Marketing Matters directly, there will be another option that's specific for the trackable one. The way that this works is every single card will get a separate QR code, so it's tied to that property
Got it,
address.
okay,
Exactly.
thank you.
So that's
That sounds better. I was like,
Totally
oh, I'm sure
appreciate
I do that.
that's a good question.
Yeah.
Because we just talked about this
I love
with My Marketing Matters. I'll get clarification on that.
Hey, probably.
So where does the information go? How do we know?
Yeah, like, how do you know who scanned it?
Where does it go?
Boy, you want everything, don't you?
Yeah.
No.
So I'll get clarification on that, whether you'll receive some sort of email separately or if it will end up on CRM. So I will let you guys know about that.
Yes, isn't that awesome?
Any other questions regarding either of these two topics? Can I hit your?
Yes, you can. Actually, I think the rest is. Oh, admit.
Oh, and also too, on the topic of My Marketing Matters and Home Life, they just released, or they are about to release, our one of one.
Yeah, it looks
campaign.
great. I
They've
have a
just-
copy of it in my office.
Yeah, so I encourage you guys to go check that out.
Nobody can take it because no,
No,
these are new though. These are
for
new,
Home Life?
property journal.
For one of one, no, so My Marketing Matters, their Home Life, they just updated to the one of one
That's
campaign.
the subscription. for,
Yeah, the
like,
subscription base if you're
year,
farming,
no,
yeah.
3 years.
It's
What?
1 year, either every month or every other month.
Yeah,
But
and it locks in the
One
community.
1 year subscription, like if something comes up, like they're very flexible and very kind. So like
So could you have to subscribe to Home Life to get the QR code or not?
No, 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 no.
no.
There,
They,
that's another option that they do. with that.
yes. That one might be released sooner than them adding it as like an option for just sold, just listed, but it is coming soon. Like literally, I think they said June.
My Marketing Matters does Home Life and all of our other
Yeah.
like digital prints, all that kind of stuff. All right, thank you, Claire. All right. Okay, we're moving and grooving. Oh, did you want to also talk about our ranking announcements?
Sure. We were ranked number 21 in the Power Broker Top 1000. This is really exciting, and they have released a social media and ActivePipe email template for marketing assets for you guys. So be on the
So
lookout.
use them because we're the coolest kids on the block.
Yeah.
That is very exciting, being in the top 21 out of the top 100 power brokers in the nation. That's pretty awesome. Excuse me? Oh, excuse me. It's even cooler. Now, this is cool too. You guys need to be using this. The top 10 strategies to strengthen your referral network. This is in Propel under the referral resources. And I love this. This is the power of networking. And this is a really great way that gives you strategies to help you build your referral network within the brand. These are ideas and things that you can implement today and tomorrow to help build your referral network. So if you haven't checked this out, it's a new resource that they've added. So I wanted to point it out to you so you can build up on your referrals. Like it? Excellent. The other thing is, remember, Sarasota Ninja, I know I've got several of you going, yay, but you can still jump on. I think we still have a seat or two that if you wanted to get in, I'm sure you could. It's next week. So go quick. But I highly recommend if you have not become a ninja, don't delay. It's definitely well worth it. I'd say all my top producers who are not, all of our top producers are ninjas, actually.
Yeah.
Dawn, Carol, yeah, Teresa, I mean, Janet. By the way, can I say our top producers, Angela Rose Helton, who I know is on, today is crossing $10 million year to date. Number one. Number two, Janet Allen. First of all, Angela Rose is a ninja. Janet Allen, also a ninja. She's 9.8 right now, year to date. Number three, Janice Edwards Diaz, also a ninja. She is 9 million. I mean, guys, do you see a trend? I'm just saying, that's pretty amazing year to date to already be at 10 million.
To touch on that, I attended Ninja last year, and a lot of it has to do with your mindset. And I think with how the times are changing, the market is changing, it is gonna be make or break to help you get through some of these challenges that we're facing.
Now, I want to tell you, speaking of challenges and mindsets, another ninja who had to have the mindset of a ninja, who last year was like feeling like it was like a goose egg, which it wasn't, but it was low. Finally, is pended 12.7 million cash, has pended 8.5 something million, has another some big one pended, and that's Stacey Rollins. So I don't know if she's on, but anyway, ninja, that mindset saved her. She's been dying. Now we just gotta close. But yeah, so that's just to say, mindset is everything, guys. So if you have not become a ninja, now is time. And Dawn Cicchetti, I don't know if she's on. Dawn, are you on? But she has gone to ninja like 3 times. She's consistently 25 to 35 million every year in Claremont. Ninja. Are you on, Dawn? Okay. I thought I saw her come on.
It's also nice not just to go through the installation and and learn everything that they're teaching you about mindset, etc. But it's also a great way to network and meet potential referral partners.
Absolutely. Carol Maderos, top advisor with us. Carol, are you on? She said she was gonna be on. I don't know if she is. She did what, 35 million last year? Ninja. Guys, our top people are all ninjas. So just saying, if you're not a ninja, be there, be square. Angela, I know you're gonna be a ninja. Flavia's a ninja. We got a lot of ninjas on here, so be a ninja. The networking events, just a reminder that are coming up. Level Up, that's going to be awesome. I will be there as well. That one is November 2nd through the 5th in California. And then there's also the TNE out in Dallas, Texas. That's the 22nd through the 23rd. So if you want to get more information, you go to SIR Access, and that's where you find those. And they will link to it. Now, we talked about challenges on the horizon, right? All these things are happening. We know clear cooperation, what's happened with that, right? But we never thought about them abolishing FREC, did we? We never talked about that. Who ever would have thought the stupidity would have ever come to a bill, would have ever passed actually at the House, and is now moving on to the Senate? Complete insanity. And when the original bill was created, it wasn't actually to abolish FREC. It wasn't. So some idiot decided to revise it and said, let's just do away with FREC. You know, the first idea was to try to, deregulate some things and whatnot. Then they just say, hey, let's get rid of the FREC. We don't need that because DBPR can handle it because they do so many things so well as it stands. Yeah, I love that. Let's just have the post office do it. Yeah. So, I don't know, like, anyone ever go to the FREC hearings every month?
Yeah.
Who's gonna do that? Who's gonna maintain our licensure law? I'd love to see who's gonna do that. Who's gonna pass our classes? Who's gonna validate our licenses? I mean, it only takes forever when you try to do a name change. Jesus, Lord above.
Hi,
How long is it
sweetie.
gonna take? 3 years?
Can I speak to you for a moment?
Is it a problem?
No, good news. I started the,
Larry, Phil Logus
Yeah.
here.
Mr. Phil, yeah, you're on.
I see you're on slide 21 of 44. I'm on a kind of a tight schedule.
Oh, I didn't see you were
today, so-
on. Here you go. I was waiting for you to come on. Hop on.
All right.
Phil, please
right.
talk to us about, I've been jumping around actually, but please talk to
Yeah,
us
that's
about
okay.
the condo laws. Yes, I brought
Yeah.
Mr. Phil Logus from this law to talk about condominium right away because we all have questions. So please hit it.
So I just want to take a minute and speak about section 10. And that's where we get most of the questions, which deals with milestone inspection report, structural integrity, reserve study, and turnover inspection report. And the question is what boxes do we check? So this is broken into 3 sections. 10A, I don't know if you can see it on your screen there.
You guys see
But-
that?
If it's big enough. 10A deals with the milestone inspection, and section 1 says the milestone inspection is required and has been completed. 2 is not required, and then 3 is required but has not been completed. And so, unfortunately, on 10A, you're just going to have to call the condo management company. There's nothing that I can tell you on that section. However, on section B is the turnover inspection report. And I sent one of the realtors at Patricia Kant's office asked me the same question, and I sent her a summary of an email, and Carrie can pass that around. But turnover inspection requirements were revised by statute January of 2023. A turnover inspection is when the condominium goes from the developer to the association. Control goes over to them. And prior to that time, the turnover inspection report was just making sure the developer funded reserves and that the books were in order. So for the purposes of section 10B, it was completely useless. After that time, the requirements incorporated the milestone inspection report and some other structural integrity inspection reports, and is, of course, its greater value to the prospective purchaser. So a condo statute requires all developers to turn over within 7 years. So that's the outside closing date. So to answer your question on which box to check. So 10B1 says a turnover inspection report is required to and has completed a turnover inspection report for turnover inspection performed after July 2023. 2 is not required for a turnover performed after July 2023. And then the third one is required, but hasn't been completed. So 95% of the condos in Florida were turned over prior to July 1st, 2023. So to answer your question, box 10B2 is going to be on 95. You're going to check that box 95% of the time. Now, how do we know? You'll have, when they send you the condominium documents, the declaration should be in there. And if the condo deck was recorded prior to July 1st, 2016, which is going to be the case 95% of the time, you're going to check box 10B2. Okay. If it's after that time, unfortunately, again, you're going to have to call the association. Okay. And then again, 10C, structural integrity reserve study, you're going to have to call again to the association. So hopefully that helps you, but 10B, people don't even know what the turnover inspection report is. So hopefully, again, it's just what the developer is required to do. Is actually a binder with all the notes and the reports in it that they actually, if you've ever been to a turnover meeting, they hand over big binders with all of the information in them indexed. And that's the turnover to the association. And in that, if again, it was after that date that I mentioned, July of 2016, then you'll have to ask the association if it was after that date, it would have some of those structural integrity reports and milestone inspection, some of the same information. So I hope that answers your question. With respect to the rest of the condo rider, I could probably do about a 3-hour seminar on it, but
Yeah.
most of the other issues we get are like parking questions, common elements. Is the parking a common element or is it assigned? You'll have to read the condo deck, but always remember, and this is my number one advice whenever you have a buyer and they're buying a condo. As important, if not more important, is to look at all of the things that are required to be delivered. It's not just the condo declaration. It's the minutes of the meetings. It's the budget. It's a reserve study. It's all of the things that, because in Florida, we have huge special assessments due to every single balcony that's exposed to salt water has to be repaired within a certain period of time. All of these types of things. So we also get questions about pending special assessments under the statute and under the contract. What's pending? What's been ratified? Has it been voted on? Okay, has it been voted on? And just to take one more minute with respect to that, there's a conflict between what's required under the contract and what's required under the seller's disclosure when it comes to special assessments and Johnson v. Davis, which is, what they have to disclose what they knew or should have known. Confirmed and ratified means in the contract it was voted on and approved. However, on your seller's disclosure, it says, hey, do you know anything about anything? Well, you may have to say, hey, they're talking about this. The board brought it up, but they didn't bring it to a vote. But maybe there's going to be a vote on the next one, next meeting. So it can be a little tricky, but in the essence of time, my advice is whenever you're filling this out for a buyer, call me if you have questions.
Carrie,
Yes.
Hi, thank you so much, Phil. Now, since it is so cumbersome and it's so much for us to learn, refresh, and have a better understanding, do you think that Phil could possibly do a training for us, sometime this month, later on?
Do you think you could
I would
possibly
be,
do a
I would be
training?
happy to. I would be happy to. I will be in Greece,
That works.
the week of the
We'll all
12th.
we'll all
Yeah.
join you. That works.
Yeah, if you want to come along. But yeah, anytime I get back on the 20th. So, and then I'll be here the whole rest of the summer. So
Okay,
I'll
so
follow
after
up
you're
with
back from
Carrie.
Greece, we'll set something up, Phil. I'll bring you in to
that'd
do
be
a
great.
training.
Yeah,
That'd be
look
great.
forward to
Thank
it.
you. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Phil.
Got it. No problem. All right. Take care. Have a great day. Nice weekend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. He snuck in. I didn't even see him in there, guys.
Let's
Okay,
just go
so
to Greece, Carrie. Let's
okay, I
just
like
train
the
with
idea.
Greece.
I love it. Okay, so we'll bring Phil in. We'll do more on the condos because that is important. Freck, I will keep you guys updated to see what happens. But even if it does pass through the Senate, which I'd be surprised, it has to go to Governor DeSantis and he can veto it. And he is so pro realtor, I'd be surprised and shocked if he did vote for that. So we'll see what happens. I did want to catch you up. Great news, even though the recession may be looming, it does say that there was imports rose an astounding 41%, which pulled the GBT down 5 percentage points. But U.S. firms worked really hard to front run the tariffs, resulting in inventories boosting. So the GDP up 2.8 percentage points. And so the economy was fundamentally healthy. So growth was probably about 2%. So that is actually good news. And with that, I'm going to turn to Trip and let him suggest. Trip, are you on?
No, I've decided not to.
Okay, so you could just go ahead.
Full technical difficulties.
Yeah. What? Technical difficulties? So with that, I'll let you say about any updates in the market.
Yes, you stole my thunder a little bit here
Oh,
with
sorry.
the GDP number, but the job strategy, jobs,
Let me just do that.
initial claims are up, as are continued claims. So right now, the economy is okay, but there's looming concern about us sliding into a recession. And while that's not great news, it's great news for rates potentially. Right now, the advice I'm getting based on what's going on in the bond market as we wait to see more information come in about the market and the economy is to float the rates. So right now, they're still trending around the 7% range. But if we continue to get some negative data or there's some trends that are exhibiting a possible recession, then the Fed's going to have no choice but to take a proactive stance and possibly reduce interest rates, which is what President Trump has been calling for the past 100 days.
Mhm. Well, that's good to hear.
Yes, kind of good, bad.
Good, bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Two things. This is the elevated buyer representation, which I know you're all familiar with. The back pocket, you can put my flyers. The OAs have my flyers. If you're going to be showing a buyer a property, please hand them this. And with my information in the back, if you need something from me, like business cards or additional flyers, I can certainly email those to you or get those to you as PDFs. But I have printed a bunch and given them to the OAs around the office.
Great.
And can I talk about the success story? Carrie's team won. As many of you may have heard, Select Lending Services wants to get out of the gate over the next few months with some qualified buyers in some deals. And yesterday, let's give Max Kowal a big thank you. Yesterday, a client called me. She's under contract. She had an approval already with Chase Bank at 6.875, paying points. I offered her 6.75 with no points. The application has been engaged, and that should close the end of May. Our first one.
Terrific. Well, congratulations,
you.
Mr. Tripp, and thank you for all you do. All right. And because we're over, I'll talk a little faster. Okay. As if that was possible. And it is. Okay. So here we go. We're going to go right ahead to the very end here, and we're going to talk about some market data. So I noticed across the board, sales have dipped slightly, not sales, but average sales price. So for Dr. Phillips, the active is up a little bit, not tremendously. It's 198 active for the month of April. And of course, that ran last night. So total sales were 38 last month. And these are the 2 zip codes, only single family, as you guys know. So days on market dropped a little bit. They were 60s, in the 60s was 67 last month. This month was 56, but compared to 37 the year before. And the average sales price last year, this time was 1.3, and this month was 1.2. So that's about a 6% dip. Again, it could be one home that does that. It's so minimal, but we are watching it. Lake Nona is pretty much flat. So 50 sold, 295. The actives have climbed. Days on market have dipped a little bit from last month, 60 versus 62, but compared to last year, the same time, 52. So it's still a little higher. But the average sales price went from 897 to 900. So it is up just slightly. So it's pretty much flat. Windermere has dipped. But again, in Windermere, we deal with such large price homes. This could be one home that does this. So we sold 56. So we actually sold more homes this month, but we have more actives. We're 215, where last month we had 197. Days on market are 62, which is down from 65. So that's good. 30 days on market, though, comparatively from the year before. But the average sales price at this time last year was 1.4, and now we're at 1.2. But again, when you're dealing with 5 million, 7 million, that could be one home. So I'm watching it again, but again, it's so minimal. And especially when you're only talking about 56 sold, you put a 7 million in there, that could skew that. So minimal. April, Winter Garden, down 4%, again, minimal, but actives 436. That's high. That went up about 20, 30 homes. Total sold were 111. Days on market, though, came down nicely. 49 days on market. So the homes are moving in Winter Garden, which is good. 46 compared to 46. So you can see there's not a big difference between the year before. But the average sales price did dip ever so slightly. 4% is so minimal. So I'd say it's pretty flat. Claremont, flat. 148 sold. Actives have dipped up, 523. Days on market, not bad. 53, they ticked down. They were in the 60s last month compared to 40. But look, as you can see, the average sales price is actually, I meant to switch that as should be up. But anyway, it is up 0.8%, not down, because I obviously was remiss in missing that. But it's pretty flat. Ocala. 475 sold. That's a good amount of home selling. So that market is moving. Yeah, but Ocala is a huge market. Yeah, 263. But honestly, it's a huge market we're looking at. I'm looking at all of Ocala. I'm just picking all of Ocala. The days on market 71 is a lot, though. It was at 67. It's going up. 59. The average sales price, though, did tick down 2%. Again, minimal compared to the number of homes we have on the market there and the number of solds. So, Southwest Orlando. We listed 12 million this month. Amazing job. Congratulations, Kate Hoffman, Ohana, Mike Mitchell, Anna Martins, Peyton Lewis, Janelli Calderon, and Mr. D, Keith Koch, Eric Baum, Liliana Rubayo, and Brad Isaacs. Woo! And here in Lake Nona, April, new sales, pendings, 10 million. Congratulations. Shane Carson, Anna Martins, Laura Ensley. Laura, nice job. Kevin Kersey, Andrea Enline. I don't know why she's on the slide. Keith Koch, Peyton Lewis, Ohana Martins, Suzette Boujon, Marima Hernandez, Mike Mitchell, Casey Borders, and Barbara Ashley Jones. All right. And then we have closings here in Lake Nona, 7 million. Congratulations, Anna Martins, Ohana Martins, Casey Borders, Louis Quintero, Jeannie Green, Susan Abshire, Shane Carson, Walter McElberg, Keith Koch, and Casey Borders. Woo! Moving on to Lake to Dr. Phillips and Claremont. We had 17 million in listings this month. Congratulations, Don Giacchetti, Janet Allen and Janice Edwards Diaz, Alejandro Quayle, Chad Going, Shandy Ortiz, Jules Carnero, Maria McKee, Brady Richardson, Carol Medeiros, Angela Jaspin, Linda Fu, Ariana Austin Gibbs, Rajiv, and Daniel Dorado. Woo! Okay. April pending, 16 million. Great job, guys. Congratulations, Don Giacchetti, Carrie Bellish, Teresa White, Cindy Strelecki, Shandy Ortiz, Ariana Austin Gibbs, Alejandro Quayle, Emily Knudsen, Max Caldwell, Lynn Liu, Lisa Campire, Mark Shamley, Linda Fu, Elizabeth Chichi Portiche, Angela Jaspin, Bobby Weldon, Daniel Dorado, Anna McAllister, and Val Flaherty. Woo! And for closings, they closed 19 million. Congratulations, Don Giacchetti, Val Flaherty, Janet Allen, Janice Edwards Diaz, Bobby Weldon, Marion McKee, Lynn Liu, Jules Carnero, Angela Jaspin, Carol Medeiros, Leslie Heimer, Carrie Bellish, Brady Richardson, Kelly Whitaker, Teresa White, Alejandro, Emily Knudsen, good job, Emily, Andrea Enline, and Daniel Dorado. Great job. And in my Ocala office, April listings, 2.5 million. Congratulations, Tana, Angela, Maddie, and Michelle. And you guys are killing it in pendings. Congratulations, 17 million. Stacy, Heather, Maddie, Michelle, Channing, and Angela. Woo! And congratulations in closed sales of 6 million to Maddie, Angela, Channing, Heather, Jill, and Stacy. Woo! So you guys have seen we've been busy. That was 1 month. So our office update, we have 239 active listings, $171 million listed. But look at this, our pending sales, which are over 50, we have our average sales price of pending volume is over $1 million. That is pretty awesome. So I just thought I'd point that out because that's kind of exciting, right? I've never been able to say that. I've never had an average sales of anything over $1 million. So that was pretty exciting. So I'm going to actually post that on social media because it's pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool. And then I'm going to say happy birthday to my May birthdays. Alistair Brown, Blake Hunter, Karina Maturo, Don Giacchetti, Angelos Helton, Jeannie Green, Casey Borders, Richard Cox, Susan Abshire, and Valerie Flaherty. Happy birthday.
For this month.
Yeah, May. That's our May birthdays. And then I hope you all can join me as I go to the Going Luxury Group's Broker Open. And they are going to be having it in Chiliota right after. Chad, would you like to say anything about it?
Yeah, it's a great home. It's a great neighborhood. It's just a phenomenal neighborhood. Not really any sales over there. It's a pretty new neighborhood, but everything's large homes. There's also a $9 million home for sale in the neighborhood.
Jesus, where do you find this?
People have their own tennis courts and their own horseback riding, and so amazing neighborhood. It's also close to Oviedo, but it's about 30 miles from the office. So love to see you guys there. We're also doing a giveaway of Tiffany wine flute or champagne flute. So
oh, you better come. You got to be there to win.
Goes to someone.
Have to be present to win.
And next week we've got a $4 million listing coming up on Butler Chain of Lakes. So
nice. Yeah, how many listings you guys have now?
10.
10 listings. Chad Going Luxury Group. And they are all where? All over the place.
All over.
Chad does not like to stay in one location. Well, I say congratulations to everyone. I'm sorry we ran over, but I'm so glad to be part of all of your lives. Thank you so much. We have a great group here too. And thank you for all being online, and look forward to seeing you on Monday for listing presentation part 2. I've got some good stuff in store. So thank you all. Have a great day.